Hey fam, it's Brother John back with you again. I have another video for us to watch. Be totally transparent. I have seen this video. It is a video of Miss Clare Daly, who is a member of the European Parliament from Ireland. She represents the Dublin constituency. She's a member of the Independence for Change. And so she would be considered what some would call being on the left, which whether on the left or right, I don't particularly really care. And so I don't get into labeling people, but all I can tell you is that she made one very impassioned speech about the crisis in Ukraine versus other refugees around the world, and in one particular region she's going to mention. And I have to say that she didn't say anything wrong. Some people don't like what she said. They went to her Twitter page and they didn't appreciate it. Some do like what she said. Everyone is allowed to have their own opinion. But if you did watch one of my other videos before, I did mention there are people hurting all over the world. Ukraine is getting the bulk of the media coverage. I understand that, but there are other people around the world who are hurting just as bad as the Ukrainians, and in some cases even more. And so the support has been uneven, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. But if you look into it, you might find that you share the same opinion I do. Up to you. Not here to debate. But let's get into what she has to say, because it's pretty powerful in my opinion. Let's find out.
They must be wondering what makes their humanitarian crisis so unimportant. Is it the colour of their skin? Is it that they're not white? They're not European? There's no doubt about it. We're living in times of catastrophic crisis where the lives of innocent civilians are sacrificed in the wars of their masters. Yes, in Ukraine, but not only.
Right.
Since the last plenary, tens of thousands of Afghani citizens have been forced to flee in search of food and safety. 5 million children face famine, an agonizing and painful death. A 500% increase in child marriages.
That caught me off guard. 500% increase in what? Child marriages? That's so utterly disgusting. I can't really wrap my mind around that. 500%. There should be 0% increase in child marriage. That is disgusting.
And children being sold just so they can survive, and not a mention of it. Not here, not anywhere. No wall-to-wall TV coverage, no emergency humanitarian response, no special plenaries, not even a mention in this plenary. No Afghani delegations and no statements. My God, they must be wondering what makes their humanitarian crisis so unimportant. Is it the colour of their skin? Is it that they're not white? They're not European? That their problems come from a US gun or a US invasion? Is it that the decision to rob their country's wealth was taken by a despotic US president rather than a Russian one? Because, my God, all wars are evil and all victims deserve support. And until we get on that page, we have no credibility whatsoever.
And you hear somebody clapping after that. Wow. That's all I can say. That's all I can say. 100% agree with her as far as other refugees around the world. Now, she pinpointed the Afghanis, which I didn't know about the 500% increase in child. That is so disgusting. I got to go back to it. That makes my skin crawl. But I haven't seen CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, or anybody else cover that. And I'm not attacking any of those media services. I'm just simply saying I have not seen anyone cover that. If you've seen someone cover that, put it down in the comments if you would. I haven't seen it. That is terrible. But her points are valid. Her points are valid. You know, I'm not getting into that part about U.S. president and, you know, because U.S. invaded. None of that. I mean, I think we have history, even before a U.S. invasion. People with, you know, in the Middle East, it's not as if they were valued on the same scale as individuals who were not from the Middle East or from Africa. I'm just speaking the truth. I mean, why is there no coverage of those horrible things going on in Afghanistan? Why? I'm just asking why. I mean, if you know why, let me know, because I don't know. That was powerful. In my view, it was powerful. And of course, there was backlash, because I did some research here. So she made the speech, and my understanding is the very next day, someone planted swastikas all over her office, or her office, outside her office door. I don't know if they actually went in the office. Maybe they did. I don't know. She and another MEP, parliament member, they both got swastikaed, if you will, which is just so ridiculous. So it's amazing. People say freedom of speech. But when you exercise that freedom of speech and people don't agree with you, there's a backlash, right? She didn't threaten to hurt anybody. She didn't threaten anyone at all. She gave her opinion about the lack of media coverage, because that's what the video is really about. Lack of media coverage on Afghanistan's humanitarian crisis. That's what it says, right? That's a valid point. How is that not a valid point? And then, of course, I read that she voted against, you know, a resolution condemning Russia for the invasion in Ukraine. I'm not getting into that. This video is not about that. This video is about the lack of media coverage on Afghanistan's humanitarian crisis. She's right on that. She's right. I don't get wall-to-wall coverage on that. And when you have 5 million children suffering from famine, 5 million children suffering, no food to eat, nothing, and people being sold into slavery. Now, you know that's going to touch my funny bone. Children being sold. I never heard of a Ukrainian child being sold during this crisis. If that's happening, I haven't seen that report. But people being sold, and we have no coverage of that. You can say what you want, you can think what you will. That is a problem. I don't care what your political ideology is. That's a problem. No one is getting coverage on that. It just blows my mind. And so don't tell me that there is equality when it comes to reporting of the news. There isn't. There has never been. There probably will never be. But the point is, she was bold enough to point it out, and I appreciate the fact that she did. You can take whatever stance you want. That's none of my business. The bottom line is, there is a lack of media coverage on Afghanistan's humanitarian crisis. You cannot argue against that. There is. Wow. That was powerful. Anyway, all I know is that, wow, I pray God protect she and Mr. Wallace. My understanding is Mr. Wallace is also a member of the European Parliament who his office was plastered with swastikas as well. So God protect them all, and even those who are in opposition to these members. I mean, I pray God protect everybody, and I pray for the people in Ukraine. I pray for the people in Afghanistan and in Syria, in Africa, Europe, United States, from one end of the world to the next, because we all need each other. We're supposed to be one world community. Supposed to be. But you know, goods and services should never come down to where someone was born, what their gender is, their economic status, any of that. None of it. Okay? You can't say you're a Christian and then, you know, you withhold goods and services that you have readily available to bless someone with. 1 John chapter 3 verse 17, it talks about how can you have this world's goods and see your brother in need and you shut up your bowels of compassion for him. It said nothing about race, nothing about what region of the world you come from, nothing about gender, none of that. It says if you have it and you have the love of God in you, how is it that you can withhold those goods from that person in need? That's what it says. Now you can think what you want, but I'm not going to argue with anyone. That's what it says. So it shouldn't come down to whether these people are brown people or white people or black people or yellow people or whatever kind of people. People all over the world need help, especially during a refugee crisis where 5 million children are starving. And people are being sold into slavery. Sold. I didn't see any UN resolution about that. I haven't heard of it. That's just me. And again, this is not a channel that talks about politics. I just found this video very interesting and I wanted to present it to whoever wanted to watch it. So that's all this is about. And of course, I've been following the Ukrainian-Russian war, and I put a couple of videos out there on that. But this was it was powerful and it was also eye-opening. Anyway, I'll leave it alone. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your evening or morning or afternoon or wherever you are. This is Brother John. God bless. Good night.